Alright, welcome back to Low Budget Beyblade, or Bad Budget Beyblade, whatever the hell I'm calling this. I don't know if I'm going to be in frame, and I hopefully don't, because I kind of want to keep my face out. Okay, yeah, this is good. I can sit down without being in frame, other than my hands. Alright, I didn't plan what this episode's going to be, so I'm going to do a kind of marathon of these. This is just kind of a comparison of what Beyblades I'm using. So let's start from so I'm just going to battle in my stand. Okay, let's do the quick format, just for the sake of it, because I have all my Beyblades I'm going through. Also, all 14 Beyblades I have. Technically 16, but I don't know where the other two layers are. So I'm just going to go through each stock combo with the standard matches, or the quick matches. And the rule set is, I'll start with a Beyblade. If it is defeated, the Beyblade that defeats it continues on. And that system. And then at the end, I feel like the Beyblades that will have the highest streaks are the ones who will battle. So it's literally just it's more of a game of score than anything. So let's say, so if Horseu can beat 3 Beyblades, let's say, and every other Beyblade, or let's say this combo, which will obviously dominate, defeats 5 Beyblades, it will win even if it loses to something like, whatchamacallit, God Valkyrie. And if a Beyblade wins the final match, so let's say I go through every Beyblade with, okay, so let's say, I don't know, God Valkyrie makes it through every single Beyblade. And in its final match, it loses to Wizard Bahamut. Then Wizard Bahamut will start from the bottom again until it's defeated, and will loop through. But then that will be the end of it, is the way to explain it. So, that way everything will have a fair chance. And so, it's the closest thing to a fair chance we'll have in this kind of test. So let's start with Kirbyus and Odax, I guess, because I feel like that. They're the closest. Okay, actually I want to do Horizon's pretty versatile, so it's pretty good starting point. So I'll do it. Match number 1 is Spriggan and Kirbyus. How do I want to? What has the least shadow? That has the least shadow. Okay, but that doesn't look good on camera, so I'm going to do it like that. There we go. That's the best way to frame it. So let's see. They're basically equal stamina, so we'll do the alternating rules. And I'll start with Kirby's because it won't bend its stamina as much. And, oh, they're both riding that edge, and Kirby's is getting a bit of a boost in speed. And they moved the stadium some, so I might have to figure out how to weight this some. Oh, that is an immediate victory for Kirbyus. And I'll be putting them offside. They're all out of camera anyway, but so, we'll try to make sure the stadium is in frame at all times. So let's move on to the next Beyblade I feel would be good is Odax. So starting with Kirbyus, it has more stamina. Kirbyus has a fair amount of movement for a defense type, but Odax is lacking movement for an attack type. I'd honestly argue as a balance type in this phase. They're both not doing the best down. I'd say they're both about equal. Both single layer Hasbros, so they're probably not going to make it far. Let's see if Kirbyus can keep up with Spin. Okay, Kirbyus takes that first round, but it took way more damage in that fight, interestingly. It was right in the way of where it would have landed if I had launched it straight away, so I had to delay it some. So technically, Odax got a bit of a favor. I also tried to launch a bit lighter for the second launch to even it out a little bit. Ooh, okay, that was a bit... That really knocked Kirby's balance. Oh! So Odax takes it, so Kirby's streak ended at 1. So I guess I'll... There's no way I can really, like, visualize the score. Put it here. It's hard to see off screen, but I am kind of organizing them based off, like, where I'm putting them. So this will be, I guess, the 0 row. It's below this, and this will be the 1 row. See, so if I put it near my feet is where I'm putting them. So I'm going to put it by row. Alright, okay, last. So Odax has way more stamina than Excalibur. And takes it. That puts Odax at a streak of 2. That was not. They were both on the ground. They did not land on each other, from what I could see. And Odax really managed to tank those blows. It barely lost any. It's got, for a single layer, it's got decent burst resistance, I would say. Who do we go on? Oh, yeah, last actual single layer, but this is a bit of a hybrid because it has gravity and revolve. This is the one I'm expecting to make it a bit farther than the others, but which is kind of why I put it last. So that has definitely more stamina. I bumped the stadium some. And there we go. Because the match off, they're not really aggressive Beyblades for either of them. And now Revolve gets to maintain a bit more stamina, while Odax loses some as it's moving more. But Horror Suit is not the best actual stamina layer compared to Odax. But Revolve has that life after death, and I would say that's a tie. So they continue to fight another day. Both of them really took no damage, so... and I also don't want to do fault launches like that. I'll redo stuff like that where it clearly lands in a pocket or something like that. My rule of thumb is it's legitimate the second they're both in the stadium and don't ever leave it from the time the second Beyblade lands. Not like that one again. That was also a weak launch to begin with. So that's two. Alright, that's the best we're going to get out of that, apparently. Alright, Horsued. Honestly should be an attack type or defense type layer. If it had better burst resistance, it probably could do that. Honestly, Excalibur actually has some of the best burst resistance of the early layers. And Horsued takes that with 1 point out of this 3 matches. You can get kind of a good string going between these matches, even for quick rounds. Alright, I'm going to barely count that one because that bounced the pocket. It didn't really stay there. And, alright, Odax is actually being an attack type for once. See, it doesn't have to... Oh, and Odax takes that, marking 3 wins for Odax. So that might... This is our single layer champion, technically speaking. Alright, putting that off to the side in the 0 mark. Let's see... So who will our first dual layer be of our possible candidates? I'm going to save Longinus for last, and I think I'll start with Classics Horizon. Or, not Classics Horizon, Storms Horizon. Actually, okay, if I really think about it, Odax has way more stamina than that combo. But it's surprisingly good stamina, though, because it's not pure rubber. Alright, there was a notification on my screen. Put that off. I'm not holding the camera with my feet this time. I'm holding it with Wallace and Gromit clock, as weird as that sounds. Let's try to hold this in place so it stays for the camera. Alright, okay, Odax is holding up pretty damn well. And Storms Horizon loses somehow. That little bit of movement it has and attack power is actually really paying off. And Spryzen took more damage than that. It was about around here when I picked it up. Versus Odax took nothing. That's pretty damn impressive for a damn single layer. Odax manages to beat all others. That would be an amazing result. Now I'm rooting for Odax. And it takes it over Tim Storm's Pride. Whoa! That is a basic tap away from bursting. If I can... Okay, let me snag Remnants of Storm Spriggan. Part of the Zero squad. Surprisingly, I was expecting that one to be the one that break it all, which is kind of why I put it first. But that was also pretty close on Odax's part, apparently. Let's go Valkyrie next, I think, will be a good one. Since Zeus is pretty damn good, I'm kind of trying to save the best for last with this approach. But apparently I did not do that with Odax. Alright, come on, rush launch, Bolt style. But Odax does have far more stamina than Valkyrie does. Or Valtryek, I guess, in this case. But Valtryek managed to take it with a lot of damage sustained. Alright, so that puts Odax at a streak of 4. Jeez. So let's... Yep, that's at 4. Yeah, I'm using... You can clearly see this is a U-Haul box. I'm using the words on the side as a measuring system. Which technically limits at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 7 is the technical maximum score you can achieve with this setup. But okay, Valkyrie, you're moving on to fight Zutron. A good matchup for you. Being a stamina type with... Okay, that hit the wall really hard. Okay. Valkyrie did too, but it still managed to take the win, so I'm not even going to dock it for that one. And if you actually watch the show, that's something Valtryek does a lot, and it's kind of almost a power move for its say. And Zutron is part of the Zero squad. This puts Valkyrie at 2. But that wasn't completely unexpected, if I'm honest. It was a really good matchup in Valkyrie's favor. Alright, final fight of Season 1. Lunior has or Longinus has a bit more stamina. So. And, whoa! Alright, Valkyrie, you're out for blood now. That marks you at 3. Wow, Longinus taken down that fast. Interesting. Valkyrie did not get out unscathed. If I were to recreate where it roughly was at, I would say around here. It was pretty damn close. But I guess it just has like enough burst resistance and grip on the stadium. Alright, now we move on to our God Layers. So let's see who is the best to go. Okay, Kreese Satan I would say would be the best for Valkyrie to face. Because God Valkyrie is actually pretty good with against some of the later stuff, so I want to kind of save it for that. Alright, Kreese Satan, go. Now, Vault loses this fight in the anime, and that's why he has to get God Valkyrie, is he can't compete with the God Vase. And Old Man in front. And Kreese Satan takes that. So that puts Valkyrie at 3 for its score. If you're wondering why it takes I'm a bit delayed, it's because I have to put it away and make sure. I'm leaving them in this kind of weird bursted state, but still lined up. So, and Kreese Satan had a lot of stamina, and it did not click once. So I guess that's the strength of a God Lair Bay. Let's move on to Legends Spriggan, which is a pretty good, for attack power, it's actually fairly decent. Let me move this back so it's a bit more frame. And this is the left spinning setting. Okay, let's go a little easy for this. And switch it over to right. And I actually do think, since this is more of a battle but attack power more than anything, and it has more, and Satan has a bit more life after death. God, I hate trying to change the mode on this. It's just so hard to do. And this is the right side of it. It's the groove side. It's how you know. Okay, got it. So yeah, this is... Did I just switch it out of the right spin combo? No, that's the right spin combo. These are both pretty comparable, I would say. I would say balance types are pretty equal to defense types for the most part. So I'll put Satan first as the winner of that previous round. Whoa, there's some big hits. And that's a double burst as I move it back into frame. So yeah, that was an interesting round. That was a lot of contact. So Satan's trying to hold on to that against the legendary Spriggan line. And I'm not just saying that because Legend Spriggan is Legend Spriggan. But the Spriggan line is, or what was it, Spriggan I said for the knockoffs? I guess I'll call this Satin, if we're doing this for the knockoff names. Alright, okay. So it was double burst, so I'm going to... Okay, that was a bit of a faulty launch. It hit stuff, landed in the duct tape for a bit, and then it had like a really weird drift going on when it landed. Alright, that is... Okay, once again, if I'm following my rules that both of them have to be in the stadium when the match starts for it to count, that did not follow that in, because the second it landed, it knocked it into there, so... So I'm going to say it's still 0-0. Or Legend Spriggan just takes it in a one-shot hit. Well, that puts Satin at 2. So we got a perfect line of score going on. But it did take some damage. It took about 2 clicks worth, if we're looking at this. I have to kind of figure out where the camera is. And let's put it against... let's put it against God Valkyrie. And we'll keep it right spinning for this first round, but if we go to a second round, I'll switch it to left. Mostly it's easier to launch than anything. That is a fault launch, if I've ever seen one. But I'll let this one play out because I'm curious. Okay, so like I said, that one didn't count because it was a fault launch extremely on God Valkyrie's end. So that because when it's sitting in the duct tape there, it is dealing with more friction than it usually would, so it typically has a little less burst resistance than it normally would. Or it ruins the burst resistance overall. That was a really weak launch. That was a fault launch. If you saw that, my cord went through the damn thing. There's this small little crack back here that you can see that went through, and I need to recenter the stadium. Like I said, I'll have to put weights or something at the bottom of the stadium now. Alright, good round. That's good enough for this to be an official round. Oh, that's a lot of scraping, but that also really hurts Spriggan. That's what I'm going with. Alright, so that one goes to God Valkyrie's favor after taking a ton of damage, half dead. And the Legend took nothing. But now we're switching to left spin, and this is probably where Spriggan's going to drop. This is probably where Spriggan's going to rule. I don't think Valkyrie can take the left spin mode. And let's get that driver in. Okay. And, alright, start with Spriggan. Make sure it's in there properly. And that's a fault launch on Valkyrie. It also has way more smash power. You see that? It's a giant-ass wall of contact points. Spinning, left spinning. So that's the other reason I'm thinking that's really going to go to Spriggan. And that was a fault launch because only one side of the launcher was in there. It was hanging off some, like that. And that hit the wall, but it's not the worst. That is... Okay, that's still technically a God Valkyrie link. He did land it in the pocket. I'm going to count that. So, God Valkyrie, I'm going to say moves on. Barely there. I'll do one more match, and if Spriggan gets a burst finish here, I'll call it for Spriggan, because it was pretty close and it was kind of hard to say. Because it did immediately get back in, but it still was in the pocket. So I'm going to kind of bend my rules some there. And in the pocket for God Valkyrie. So, but that was not a burst finish, like I said. And if we're not counting that in the pocket, God Valkyrie would have won. So I'm going to say it's barely strong enough to survive this. All right, there goes Spriggan, I guess, at 0 points. Or at 1, actually it's 1 point, because it did beat Satan. And let's go Less Spinning Requiem. I guess I'll go for this if I'm going for a defensive build with this driver. Yeah, that's better. You can also see part of what makes this knockoff not really good, or makes it kind of interesting, is you can see there, that part's broken. There's supposed to be a little red bit hanging off that lessens the smash of this part, make it a bit more balanced, and also adds a bit of smash going the opposite direction. But those, both versions of both sides, those broke off really early to when I first got this Beyblade. You can see on both sides where my middle finger is and where, right around there, and there, it's not there. But okay, Spriggan Requiem. Alright, wasted a bit of stamina there on Requiem, but it also, even without rubber, has some spin skill. And that is out, that is in the pocket. So Valkyrie does take that one. I'm not going to ignore it going into the pocket, which is sometimes I do in my own personal matches when I'm just playing with Beyblades for a 5-minute non-run video. That is not attack mode, by the way. And that is a fault launch on Valkyrie. But yeah, Ball is just that capable of offense. Also, I launched Radar. Alright, that was a bit of a cheap shot on Spriggan Requiem, so I'm not going to count that one because it landed on it and knocked it out. It didn't burst it, luckily. And got that first. Hold on. Alright, okay, now that one goes to Spriggan immediately when Valkyrie entered the stadium. It did bounce kind of out of it there, so it is a little of a half point, but I'll give it to Spriggan. So we'll say it's even now, where anything done for this round will count as victory. Alright. Alright, that's as fair of a launch as you're going to get between these two. Oh, that's a lot of... That's out of the stadium there from Valkyrie. So that puts Valkyrie at 1 point. It puts it at 1 point. Because it beat Base. And now we have our final duo combo. I mean, who else expect this? It's going to be Requiem versus goddamn Wizard Bahamut. So let's put this... I know this isn't this... If you didn't see my introduction video, this is from the random booster layer, and I really like this combo, and it's my only GT bay, because it's the only thing I've done so far, and I'm going to get another random booster later. So these are both left spinning right now. So this is actually in a bit of Requiem's favor, but also that rubber is going to hit pretty hard, especially when we have the Gen weight helping. Yeah, that Gen weight really requires a lot of force to defeat. Alright. Surprise. And if I can put it on the goddamn launcher. Okay, I don't know if Bahamut was actually in the... Alright, here we go. This is... I'll give that to Spriggan, because Bahamut did actually, beyond just out stamina win, it managed to hold on a little bit longer. And also, Wizard was in the pocket for a bit. And that's in the pocket for... And, okay, it was already in the pocket when it lost, so it's not going to count that as a burst. So they're even any point wins, so this actually... So Requiem could get a really cheap win right now, and technically pull it off. But of course, it will still loop through, I would say, and go for as long as possible. because once we're going with points of how far I can make, which technically puts these final few at a slight advantage. But they don't have the advantage. Like, for instance, technically, Kirby has had the biggest advantage because it had the most chance to beat, and that's actually why Odex is so far. Because it was dealing with the most stuff on its skill level. So, and okay. That's on the cord. That was a bit of a weaker launch, so I'm going to really lowball this next launch on Bahamut. But that was a land on the launch, technically, so I'm gonna cancel that because that was a land on launch, and that's against my kind of code of what's fair or not. And alright. That hit the wall, but it was still a really strong launch, so if I do a bit of a weaker launch for correction, that's out of the bounds. So that goes to Wizard, as I really expected. I mean, God, it's a really big... The GT Banes are so big for their outer layer. And this also has no weight, is the other thing. Obviously, other than a disc, it has no real weight to it. I've been meaning to do an experiment for a while now, where I try to make a super messed up weight bay. Where I was planning on taking the classic Spryzen and then putting as much heavy stuff on the bottom of it so it's super messed up in its weight. So, okay, that goes... So, Requiem has 1 point, is what it managed to make. So, now we go with... So, let's start... I'm going to start from the God layers to be a bit more fair. Because if I put against a single layer, it's going to win every time. That's not an accurate measure, really. So, let's put it against Legend Spriggan first, let's say. Who has probably the best chance. Other than, actually, Valkyrie, Genesis Valkyrie has probably the, or God Valkyrie has probably the, God, I hit the walls. God Valkyrie, you're the only hope, really. Because in my testing, I did kind of do a mini version of Marathon where I just fought my wizard combo against everything else. Really quick. It was just like single round matches to see how it compared. And God Valkyrie was the only one to survive, really. And that was... God, you are hard to launch. God! It didn't even land in the stadium that time. What the hell? Alright. And that one hit the damn wall right away really hard, and it lost almost all its spin. What the hell is with you? Are you in the damn thing? Alright, you're in there now. Finally. That is an immediate win, but I'm going to let them go after that because it was kind of cheap. Because it basically landed, and it's really hard to not land on the opponent with Wizard. So I'm going to be a bit forgiving here. And give Requiem a chance to out stamina. Or be bursted. Yeah, that goes to Wizard kind of either way there. So that's... Okay, you're still a 1-pointer Spriggan. This is just to see what the limits of this Valkyrie are, or this combo is. Let's go to Kreese. You were pretty... Okay. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I'm going to go through what, in my opinion, were the best of each. And I'm not going to hand spin it, even though, because that actually introduces burst stalling, which if you don't know what burst stalling is, when you spin a left spin Beyblade against a right spin really slowly, it creates an effect where it's almost like hitting a brick wall and tends to cause it to burst easier than it normally would. And it's really good for left spinning Beyblades as a tactic. And this combo really induces that with how much friction it has. Oh, that barely bit life of after death in Satan manages to hold on for 1 round, but took a bit of damage. Okay, come on, let me just make sure. Alright, there we go. And that is out of the stadium. That was a solid out of the stadium. If we're going by legal rules, how I'm doing things. That goes, so it's now 1-1. It can go either way. This could end the streak Wizard at pretty low, which would make Odax the winner. But now it's just kind of okay. It was bullying Priest there for a bit. Or Satan. All right, now let's see if it can make Satan. Come on. Technically, that ends the streak, making Odax. It makes Odax the winner. Odax, you won, buddy. You won. And it makes Valkyrie second place, and a tie for third place between these two, between Wizard and Priest. I guess Priest just kind of. I guess Wizard just kind of. Huh. That was. I guess fighting the other single layers really put Odax at an advantage. So I guess I'll now put Odax against Valkyrie, just for the sake of it. Take this as a apparently they're even enough to do that. And I don't want to lose another goddamn part, so let me see if I can just claim that little bit that flew off, and probably got a lot of my arm there. And so that technically, I think that cements it. Having a double burst as a finale is pretty cool. So I'm going to claim that in favor of Odax, the little bay that could. But if we're really being realistic, even though it did win via point measure system, okay, I'm going to hand spin with. So obviously it can spin steel. It's kind of its primary thing. Which if you don't believe in spin steel, I don't know why. But yeah, there we go. It's like fighting a brick wall. So yeah, that's technically, if we're fighting them on par with each other, that would have made Wizard probably could have won if it hunted down all the low-level Beyblades, but I was trying to be somewhat fair. But yeah, that's this video. As I put all my Beyblades back together for what I'm going to do. I'm doing this all like in a sequence to get kind of a good first week of stuff happening for this channel. So that's that.